Hi. So, um, I'm Mimi. Nice to meet you. And I usually stream on Twitch, but I feel like it's hard to really get to know me. And sometimes I just need to talk, but I don't really want to talk to no one. And sometimes I don't want to talk to people I know. If that makes sense at all, but I feel like I've been struggling a lot lately. It's getting harder and harder to keep up a good face. And I'm just gonna touch on one of the things that's been bothering me. And I'm gonna treat this whole thing like a diary sort of episode sort of thing. I want to start doing like more personal videos where you guys get to know me and where I can talk and I don't know, just exist. I don't know, I'm not sure. These will be like very lightly edited, if at all, videos. But today's topic is gonna be about jobs. So like job hunting and applying and how much it sucks and how no one's very helpful. And I appreciate people trying to help, but it's not really like something they can help. There's not really a solution that they can give me. And the only person who can solve the problem really is like employers, you know? So first of all, um applying is awful. They have you go to like so many sites and loopholes, and every single site you have to re-enter literally everything and attach your resume. Like it's just so inconvenient, and it's just such a hassle. And then not to mention the job market sucks. It is so hard, I feel like, to just land an interview or to even get a rejection. I feel like most of the time I get radio silence. Um, and lately I feel like maybe I've been getting a little better with dealing with the fact that, or coping with the fact that I might never feels like get a job. I'm sure eventually it'll happen. Just and it's gonna take some time, and I've been working on it for a long time. And then some people will say, "Oh, just apply more," or "Oh, just follow up." And like, I am applying more. I applied to minimum 3 jobs every day, and I have for the last year. I've applied again. Same for the people in the back. I've applied to 3 jobs every day for the last year. And then this is the part where also people are like, well, maybe your resume is the problem. I have had like people look over my resume, and I've edited my resume multiple times. I have now made it. I have made it RTS friendly, quote unquote. But that's over 1,000 applications, guys. Like I took a little bit of a break for about a month, and I'm back on the application train. But other than that, it's over 1,000 applications that I've sent, and I'm tired. I'm so tired of all of the cover letters, of all the applying. I'm tired, man. Like, and I feel like I'm not really asking for a lot. I feel like a lot of people aren't asking for a lot in terms of like money, but so frustrating. Um. Anyway, but everything's getting more expensive, and in some cases, like it can even be cheaper to eat out, but even then, like, it's just expensive to eat anything, to go shopping, to buy meat, to buy veg, and then buy like dog food. Everything's just so much money. and and my work environment isn't very great. You know, like, we have a pretty toxic work environment where I work, and I don't really like it. So it's a struggle every day. Some days are way better than others, but some days can be really hard. And I don't know how to properly express that to some people. And I think a lot of people can just easily say, like, oh yeah, just ignore it, or like, oh yeah, it'll get better, or oh yeah, like, oh yeah, you just need to work harder, or oh yeah, you need to apply more, or yeah, just ignore them, or, you know, like, it's a lot easier said than done. uh, it sucks also because I work in a very specific industry, and there's not really a lot of, like, I would say, active hiring or jobs. And my applications that I've been sending in, I've been like for literally almost anything that's related to it. So it's not like I'm just searching for the specific position that I do, because I know my specific position is very, very, very hard to find. And especially for like a good pay and benefits. But I haven't been applying to anything. And I've heard almost nothing. Or if I do hear something, it's an interview here or there, and then nothing, or a rejection, which is okay, because at least I heard something. Like, as long as I hear something, I don't care. But it's the ones where, like, I don't hear anything. I'm like, what was the point of spending hours writing a cover letter and tailoring my resume just to hear nothing? Like, I'd rather get a rejection than hear nothing. My job specifically, a lot of the people in this industry that I'm in, is contract. And if you don't know, contract workers get taxed so high, and there are no benefits. If you have benefits, you're paying for them yourself. And that's expensive. And I've heard people paying over $1,000 just to get some health insurance when they're contractors, and it's rough. Like, I guess to shed a little bit of light without like doxing myself, is I work in sports broadcasting, and it's hard out there. It is hard to find a good stable job without knowing somebody, or without sucking up to people. And it's hard to get a job standing up for yourself without throwing away everything, you know, like. It's also hard without a car. So, as most Americans know, or most people know, there's not a lot of good transit in America. And where I particularly live, there's not even a single bus. I grew up in a city where there was quite a lot of buses, and it would take you a while, but at least you could get there. Here, there's not a single bus, and it is so hard to get around. If I don't have a ride, I have to Uber, and obviously that's expensive. I can't afford that all the time, and I can't afford a car. I can't afford car insurance. I can't afford gas. Even if I were to have a car, and even if I could drive, I would still have to somehow get to the driver's test, and then somehow get someone to teach me. And again, even after learning, I wouldn't be able to afford a car. And that's that's unfortunately just the situation. And As for like why you're looking for a new job, I did say a little earlier, like it's not a good working environment. I do get paid well, especially for the amount of work I do. We do get good benefits, and you might think that might be enough, but it just isn't. And I've been here for about 3 years, and a lot has changed, including me, and including the company, and the industry, and their intentions for our and my role. And it's hard to explain to people who aren't in this industry. And when you explain my job, or any job, when it has to do with sports, a lot of people just think, "Oh, that's cool, that's great," but it's an awesome opportunity, and oh, I would love to do that. Or like, "Oh, why don't you take this, or that?" Or like, "Oh, well, it's not that bad," but it, depending on where and which company you work for, it can get really bad, and just depends, just like any company, but I feel like it's a lot harder, especially if you're looking for a full-time thing. And something that actually lets you live a little, something that doesn't take up and eat up your entire life. I wouldn't even mind the sporadic work schedule if it meant that I could still have some sort of a life, but some of those jobs just don't let you do that. And I'm lucky enough to have one where I sort of have one, but the environment is just so like toxic. I don't know another way to put it. Like it's just so bad, specifically because of mostly one person, but and then management, but it's just so bad. It's unbearable. Literally everyone in our role just wants to get out of there. Well, except again for one of the problems, and then management, like everyone would love to get out if they could, but it's just so hard to find anything. And a lot of it is like you have to be ready to move. Some of these places I don't want to move to. Like I don't want to move to Detroit, or I don't want to move to Secaucus, or New York, like, or LA. I don't want to move to any of those cities. I barely want to live in the city I'm in. So like I would love to, if possible, go back to Texas or something, but it's hard. There's not a lot of work there. And I've looked at the teams there and sports stuff there, and it's rough. I applied to each one, and it's just hard. It's a struggle. I look every day. I search every day. I apply every day. I'm doing the best that I can. So don't think that it's like I'm not. And I'm sure other people who are applying are doing their best too. It hurts and sucks so much when somebody's just like, "Oh, just try harder," or "Oh, just apply more," or like, I don't know how much longer I can. Especially anyway, sorry. Getting a little emotional, but TLDR, yes, I updated my resume. Yes, I made it RTS friendly. Yes, I'm applying. Yes, I looked at LinkedIn and Indeed and that one random obscure job site that posts of work and then directs you to the employer website. Like, I honestly feel like it should be illegal for job sites to redirect you to another job site, or to um like or to like leave up postings that don't exist, because I have had so many lately where it's like I'll click it and it says it's available, and then I go to apply and it doesn't exist. Like, the most recent thing that happened to me is I was on Google Jobs. I clicked it. It redirected me to some random work site. And then I clicked and made an account there. And because I hadn't seen this listing anywhere else. So I was like, okay, I'll click it. I clicked it, redirected me to that random site, made an account. That redirected me to like LinkedIn or something. Then that redirected me to Indeed. And then that redirected me to the actual like site where I had thought, okay, maybe this is just exclusive to this app, because sometimes it's like it's only listed on this website or whatever. Because I had never seen it before for this company, so I was like, whatever, I'll try it. I get to that company page because it redirects me to the company page, and I already had looked at this company page and it wasn't there. And when I get there and it's like, oh, this job does not exist. Like, what's the point? Honestly, I feel like stuff like that should just be illegal. Like, I feel like if you're listing empty jobs, like, it should be illegal. Or even those like ongoing for hire ones that they just never look at. It feels like I don't think they should ever have to redirect you to anything other than the actual site. It's just so dumb. The other thing being like, some people ask us, oh, do you have references? Yes, I have references. It doesn't help. They never call them. And then another struggle I've had, and this might be a very like niche struggle, is I did work for some Asian companies who only speak either Japanese or Korean. So when I first came back and was applying to American companies and they would call, they had no one to talk to. They didn't understand and they couldn't ask them questions or anything. And that was a whole struggle in itself. So for a lot of those, I just had to completely scrap those references because they're great references. But it doesn't help if they can't communicate with them because they who are calling are only speaking English, and the people they are calling are only speaking a foreign language to them that they don't understand. So I had to scrap some of those, which sucks, but it is what it is. And in terms of like experience, right? Some of these jobs are like, oh, 10 years experience with this or that. And it's like, at some point, like, I don't care. For a while, I didn't apply to the ones where it was like over X amount of years of experience, because I felt like I wasn't gonna be the right fit for the role. At this point, I'm just sending them in, like, because I was trying to be very like modest about it, I guess. But at this point, I just don't care. I'm applying anyway, and so like, it's like, oh, entry level, but we want you to have this many years experience, or yeah, we're hiring recent graduates, but we want this many experience. Well, if they just graduated, there's a good chance they don't have any experience. And then like there's those people who are like, oh, you could phrase it that your classwork would be eligible to be put on your resume. Well, that doesn't look as nice as it sounds, and doesn't even sound that nice. So maybe if you did something really grand, but it's not a helpful answer either. And then there's some places that don't want you to have any experience. Like, I'm sure they would just love to take advantage of you. They would just love to see that you're not gonna leave them for some tech job because you have a computer science degree as soon as you get it, right? You could say like, oh yeah, oh, you're just overthinking me, or like, oh, that's kind of exaggerated. But like, I've tested it out a couple times with certain places where I'll leave out my resume, and I have heard back. And this is for some of the jobs I applied to that are more like retail focused, or I'll only, like, again, I'll try to tailor my resume to each place that I work at, or to each place that I'm applying to. And for some of those, I hear back when I don't put certain experience, or if I don't put certain things about my college degrees or whatever. Like, so this is just from my experience. I feel like sometimes it feels like it was all for nothing. Going to school was for nothing. All these years of quote-unquote experience were for nothing. And somehow my experience feels like it's not enough, or too much, and never enough. There's also the issue of, like, when they ask, oh, what's your desired wage? And it's so annoying because I also think it should be illegal for them to put jobs up without putting how much your pay would be. Like, the minimum pay you would get and the maximum pay. I know there's sometimes places that put the range, but sometimes the range will be like 100K, and it's like, oh, well, you could earn commission. Then that's not your wage. Like, that's a commission. Am I crazy to think of them as separate? Like, but whatever. So, I'll put what I make now, or I'll put like maybe 1,000 or 2 higher. And one thing that frustrated me is recently, my friend and I actually applied to the same job. This was actually a couple months ago. If not me, I think almost a year now. Gosh, time flies so fast. 2025 is going by so fast. We both applied to the same position. We both got interviews. He has no experience. I have lots of experience. He has no degree. I have a degree. I'm currently in the field. He's never even touched the field. He's never even seen the field. And this is no shade to him. I'm just setting the scene for you, okay? We get to the point of the interview where they're asking, like, how much we'd like to get paid. And I say, like, they say, or ask, and I ask, like, how much it would be. They give me a number that is, you know, it's fine, I guess, but you wouldn't really be able to be comfortable. You'd still be struggling, barely enough for rent, maybe a little bit extra for, like, some food, but that's about it. Like, I'd probably have to have a credit card bill every month, right? I'm trying to get out of debt, you know, like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to live like that. You know, I don't mind not going out. I don't mind partying or anything like that, because, like, I don't do that. My entire life is here. Like, you're looking at it. This is my life. I stream for a living. I stream for a hobby. This is my hobby. This is what I have fun doing. This is what I love. This is what I like. This is what I'm passionate about. Right? So, I'm not spending a ton of money. I stay home. I don't really do much, and I'm fine with that. Like, I like just chilling on my couch, watching TV and YouTube videos, and playing video games until 7 a.m. Like, cuddling my dogs on the couch, which they are expensive. And though it wasn't my choice to get them, I love them so much. And I am stuck with them. And I love them, and I wouldn't give them up for anything. But, you know, I'm not doing a lot. Sure, there's the occasional micro transaction. But, like, I know, I just know somebody from my my stream is gonna come in here and be like, Mimi, but you spent $100 on V-Bucks. Yeah, I spent $100 on V-Bucks. I'm sure there's plenty of people who spent $100 on a night out, okay? Spending V-Bucks, spending it on V-Bucks once in a while, whatever. But my point being is, like, this would have been only enough to just exist. And that to me isn't a life. If I can't do more than just exist, then I don't know. I feel like I'm not asking for a lot, if that makes sense. All this to say, he got the job. And I didn't. And the only difference, aside from our experience and everything like that I listed earlier, was that he asked and took the minimum. Or is that he said yes to the minimum, and I asked if I could get paid more. He agreed to take, so for example, let's say they were hiring, like, they said, oh, the pay range is $10 to $17. And I asked, can I get 20 or somewhere closer to 20? But instead he says, oh, I'll take the 10. Yeah, like no negotiation kind of thing. That was the only difference. And I know for a fact we were the only two left in the interview process, because the interviewer said, it's down to you and one other person. I was like, okay. I knew the other person. We were totally okay with whoever would get it, but it just drove me crazy. So. And you might be like, oh, we'll get a roommate. Well, I have someone I live with. So, well, I have someone. And we do split the rent. And it's still a lot. And I'm looking to move. I'd love to move. Love to move back to Texas, but rough out there. I moved away from Texas purely because of the fact that I couldn't get a job there. And now I'm kind of stuck here. And not as bad as it used to be, but I don't think it'll get any better than this. Unless I somehow get like a massive pay raise and the problem is gone, but I highly doubt both of those things. Anyway, I'm sorry, I've been talking for like 30 minutes about my struggle with job hunting, and I don't know, I just really wanted to talk about it. And I'm sorry if you know, actually, I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry if you feel like you have a problem with anything I said, because like I feel like I'm doing the most. I'm doing my best. I apply every day. I'm always working on my resume. I'm always looking for new postings. I'm always trying to put myself out there, and I'm pretty introverted, and at least out in the real world, you know. And I'm just doing my best, and it's not enough, apparently. And I'm tired. So, I'm sorry if you think I need to be doing more, but I'm doing the most already. And I don't know how anybody can do more than what I'm already doing. Anyway, that's today. That's my little dear diary. Job hunting sucks. Sorry it wasn't a very fun video, but I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it, let you guys in my life a little bit. But yeah, I promise my streams aren't like this at all. Well, we complain about work, but they're definitely more upbeat. I feel like I definitely put on a really good face, I feel like, for streams. Yeah, I don't know. Just wanted to talk about it. Have a good day, guys. I hope that your job hunting journey is going better than mine. Oh, I will say this. If you know someone, you're set. Like, as long as you know people, you're probably gonna do way better than I am. But I don't know anybody. And there's some people I know that have complained about, like, oh, I'm not getting or doing this and that, but like they got where they were because they knew somebody. Like nepotism, man. Nepotism was hard. It's so prominent, especially in the industry I'm in. So, you know, I don't know. Get that bag, but if you know somebody, it'll be 10 times easier. And don't be like me. Definitely go out there and network if you can. I also just wanted to add really quickly, like, I'm not asking for somebody to send me job applications. I'm looking every day. Okay? And I'm not asking for advice. Just wanted somebody to talk to. A lot of the time when I talk about this, I'm not looking for advice. I'm not looking for your help. I just need someone to listen. You know, sometimes I just need you to be there for me and be like, yeah, frick them, or like, yeah, they suck, or like, oh man, same, or like, oh yeah, it was so rough, or like, I'm not looking for advice or for you to solve my problem. I just looking for someone to listen. That's all. Okay, bye for real.